everyone, Jose here from Rivian Tracker. Happy Halloween. I have donned my Halloween shirt to talk to you about this year's exciting Rivian Halloween update. See, last year in 2024, Rivian introduced this concept of car costumes. We got to see Knight Rider, Back to the Future, and even a custom Rivian one that they created with Gear Guard. It was really cool. Pretty much you put your car parked, you went through the mobile app, you enabled it, and you'd be able to, it would pretty much change all the screens in the vehicle to show you some really cool stuff. For example, with Back to the Future, it would turn your center screen into a display with the time circuits, and it would play the music from Back to the Future. It was really, really cool that Rivian teamed up with Universal Studios to kind of create this really cool experience. Well, car costumes return for 2025 with a brand new one that Rivian has created called Swampy Halloween, Spooky Swamp Halloween. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like and talk about what I think about this year's Halloween and comparing it to last year's Halloween and previous years of Halloween and all that good stuff. Rivian loves to do Halloween, and they're throwing a big event in New York City Times Square, where they're going to have a bunch of really cool things set up, showcasing this really cool Halloween theme there. So let's get started. I'll show you what it looks like in the vehicle, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned for this spooky episode of Rivian Tracker. So here is how this works. You want to make sure that you're running the latest Rivian software update, which 2025.38, which should be rolling out at this point to everybody if this video is live. You also want to make sure that you update your Rivian app to the latest version. It should be 3.6.0, which just was released for iOS and Android. I have it here on my super duper iPad. And pretty much how this works is you want to make sure you have your digital key set up. So you're going to have like the phone as a key set up on your device, which I did. If we scroll down, we have here a little new button that says, Let's Get Spooky. And it says, connect to Wi-Fi for the best experience. I am in a parking lot. There is no Wi-Fi here, so we're going to give this a try as is. But you can see there Gear Guard in his spooky green skin outfit with a purple Rivian. A purple Rivian, you say? And with pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, and a swamp. It looks like an airboat in the back with the propeller, so that's really cool. So I'm going to show you what this looks like in the screens here inside the Rivian with all the sound effects and all that. And then we'll go outside and I'll show you what it looks like from the outside with the spooky sounds and sights. All right, so here we are. I've set the camera up so you can kind of see the driver display and the main center display. I'm going to come here to my iPad and we're going to go ahead and hit on. I'm going to lower the volume. But here now you see the spooky swamp theme that we have going on. This is really cool. You can see there's Gear Guard. We've got jack-o'-lanterns. We've got a haunted piano. This pretty much is playing the both videos on the same, on the screen. So this is the same kind of video. And if you tap the screen, you get a surprise. Swamp Monster Gear Guard. Now, if we come over here into the app, we've got it on. Oops, I did not mean to turn it off. We have it on. And we can scroll down and we have exterior lights and sounds. We'll talk about that in a second. We've got spooky overhead lights. The actual lights inside the car are flashing, which is really cool. I'll show you that in a minute. And then we've got interior music. You've got Bayou Blues, which is exactly what's playing right now. This is Swampy Ambiance. Creepy sounds. Cajun Crawl. And then we've got Ghostly Gloom. This is actually one of the musics that they had last year. Then if you scroll down further, you've got sound effects. So if I come in here and pause the music, because you can turn off the music, you've got a gator, snake, a skull, a house, evil opening creepy door, frog, and thunder. You can also adjust your interior volume here, which is really cool, or you can use the vehicle's controls as well. So that's the interior music. We've got spooky overhead lights. I'm gonna just turn the camera a little bit here, so I apologize for this, but I want you to see what we got going on here. So the lights, they're flashing. Yes, so that is what you get with the spooky stuff, the spooky overhead lights. Now, in the rear screen, so I'm gonna take this off the thingy here for a second. I'm going to show you the rear screen, which is pretty much playing the same content. Here we've got the rear screen. As you can see, it's pretty much playing the same content on all three videos, or three screens, sorry. And if you tap on there, nothing happens. Like I said, there are the flashing lights. Spooky overhead lights. Like I said, right now I have the audio turned off, but this would do very well with the audio playing. All right, so now we're outside and I'm going to show you the really cool effects. Number one, there is a new lock sound this year. Let me play it for you so you can hear it. It is a frog. Rivian has gone away from birds. If anybody remembers last year's Save the Owl campaign, which brought the owl to be a permanent addition to Rivian family, which is really cool. This year we've got what they call the bog frog. There you go. All right, so I'm going to turn on the costumes here, and this will trigger the lights on the exterior of the vehicle to turn off. And I'm going to go ahead and manually play the different ones here. So we've got Swamp Gas. This is Player Piano. We've got Bayou Blast. And finally, we've got Scary Spirit. It really is cool to see Rivian utilize the front charging bar for really cool effects and to see different colors. This also happens in the rear of the vehicle. So if we go to the back of the Rivian Gen 2, remember this is Gen 2. Gen 1 will still play these, but it's a solid green color, so you're not going to get the cool color effect. And it pretty much plays audio through the speakers on the outside of the vehicle that are used for pedestrian warning. And on the inside of the vehicle, you can hear the spooky swamp playing. Very cool. All right, before I forget here, Rivian has also redone their all-purpose screen here with Halloween. And again, you can take 2 fingers to move it around. There's a couple of spooky surprises in here. Let me adjust this so you guys can see it better. And let's set the focus on the screen so I don't lose it. So you can spin the windmill. You can touch the little spiders. You can touch the pumpkins, the jack-o'-lanterns, and get some fireflies. And if you touch the water, you can spot Swamp Thing Gear Guard. I don't think there's any other spooky treats. Oh, yeah, the eyes back there will flash. I don't think there's anything else. Tap, 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 tap. Nope. And just for the record, none of the other screens do this. So like if you go to any other screen, they're just going to be normal. So this is just the all-purpose screen that's going to give you the fun Halloween goodies. No goodies in the camping screen this year. That seems to be normal, so nothing there. So we're just going to get it here in the Halloween all-purpose mode screen, which is really cute and fun. Now, let's talk about my thoughts on Halloween, and we'll wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough of Halloween mode 2025 for the Rivian R1T and R1S. Couple things to note, I think it's cute. I think it's cool what they get to do. This is all my opinion, so please, don't take this with anything more than a grain of salt. But my thoughts are, Rivian does a really good job of Halloween. They've kind of made Halloween their thing, right? This is their holiday where they do some fun, spooky costumes with their vehicles. They give you the cool sound effects. They give you all that cool stuff. Don't forget that you can go into your vehicle settings and change the lock sound, so you can change it to be that bog frog, or you can go back to the owl or the bluebird if you prefer. So that's something you can do there. Of note this year, last year we got a red color scheme through the vehicle for lights. We didn't get that this year. No special light color other than the colors rotating through when you have the costume enabled. And we only really got one, right? We didn't get anything more than just the one that Rivian made themselves. So no Back to the Future, no Dark Knight. People were like, oh, Ghostbusters and I said Dark Knight, but I meant Knight Rider. Although maybe Batman would be cool. But no, no Ghostbusters, no licensed IP or intellectual property this year. So it's just their own thing that they did there. And so, take that for whatever you want. It does cost money to license things, so I can understand why Rivian wouldn't go the route of licensing something else again. So we didn't get that this year. So we got the spooky swamp. You could argue what the swamp have to do with Halloween. I live in Florida. It's a swamp here at all times. So I guess it's Halloween all the time. But anyways, it's really cool. And I think the tie-in here is with Rivian's Bayou Country video that they released a couple of weeks or months back, where, they're doing those real owner stories. And so I think it was tied to that, very much inspired by. So that's really cool. But yeah, I think that overall, I think some people are going to be let down by Halloween this year because, we didn't get Back to the Future again, or blah, blah, blah. Or some people looked at it last year and were like, oh man, I wish I had a Gen 2 back then or whatnot, or I didn't have it. But I think it's cool. Rivian doesn't have to spend time, effort, money, energy on doing this. They opt to do this. And so, it's just a little treat that we get. No different than how, Tesla gave them, the Tron movie tie-in, which is controversial to some people, but I think it's cool. We get a little Halloween treat. So, shout out to Wasim and the tech team for taking some time to do this through their busy stuff. Some people will sit here and say they have better things to do, right? Go fix all those bugs, go add those features and all that. And, understandably, it's a hard, it's hard compromise, and it may not even be the same team. We really don't know all the facts and the story. So I'm not going to sit here and judge that, and neither should you really, but everybody's entitled to say whatever they want. Yeah, that is Halloween. It should be interesting to see what happens next year, because this time next year, R2 will be out to the public, and that means that Rivian will have to support R2, R1, and it should be really interesting to see how they do all this tie-in. So super excited to see what comes of that. And yeah, that's all I've got, guys. Thank you for listening to me talk nonsense and checking out this really cool Halloween video. There's a lot of bloggers out there and a lot of people, a lot of content creators who are going to share this. But thank you for choosing to watch mine. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out my review on 2025.38. I'll link it above so you can check it out, where I talk about all the fun stuff that came with the update alongside Halloween. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.